man. Leaders sit up front, right? I'm talking to my 12-year-old godson as well. We can help distinguish our children by helping them to understand that you can separate yourself, you can distinguish yourself by walking into any classroom, any university. And when it's time to come into the classroom, you sit up front. The people who are in control or in authority in that room are going to notice you differently than if you sit in the back.
That's right.
The associations up front are going to be different. The people that's doing their homework, guess where they sit?
Up front.
They sitting up front. Okay, so keep that in mind, young people, young moguls in the making. And again, if you all want to support Defying the Odds, Jacob will be here with us afterwards. But look, when I first got started, the reason why I had you all share is because I want you to understand that everyone in here, even if I hadn't asked them, already had that dream, goal, desire in them before they were asked what it was. It was already there. But an experience happened. Getting fired, being pregnant, and being in a season in your life, right, where things needed to happen, and you took your pain and turned it into a purpose. That's what leaders do. And it becomes your mission statement now if you can crystal clear, or make sure that it's crystal clear. And so that's the first thing that I want you to write down in some of the topics. I want you to write down, right, that your reason why has to be crystal clear. Because that's the thing that's going to drive you. And I want you to know that a fuzzy why, a fuzzy reason why, has very little pull power. So when you're going through the challenges in life, I'll never forget, I just showed you some pictures of my baby kids, but now they're all young adult kids, right? That's what they look like now. This is what they look like when I first got started really in the world of entrepreneurship. Okay, so this is my reason why, right? And why is an acronym for what hurts you or what helps you. What hurts you or what helps you. If there's a pain point or you've got a purpose point, your why is the thing that's going to drive you, especially as an entrepreneur, because we don't have bosses.
Right.
Yeah.
See, when you got somebody at work telling you what to do, it's easy to do the assignment, because you know if you don't do it, somebody gonna get on you. Yes. Stay turned this way to you. Thank you, baby. It's my marketing PR director. So you say, stay turned to me. It's a lot of other people in here.
Just stay facing.
Okay, all right, good. I'll pay attention to you a little later. All right. So you gotta take care of your first business.
That's right.
Everybody, kings in the room, you gotta take care of your first business. Business can become a mistress.
Right. So true.
Business can become a mistress. Seriously. Right? So you gotta take care of your first business. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time. You have to bring me back on that one. I had to learn some lessons. All right? So I'm showing you my children, right? Because in some of my first appointments when I was going through looking to prospect people and share with them what the vision was for giving equal justice under law and making sure that people's privacy management was in place and showing them that there was an opportunity to become more no matter what situation they were coming from. Would you believe, right, driving a 40-gallon Suburban truck with 7 seats, because we got this big old family, I would get in and drive after a 12-hour workday in my barbershop and go and meet with someone that said they wanted more out of life and they wouldn't be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody ever had a no-show? Right? They were supposed to be coming to get the adjustment, and they went to the doctor instead. Because they were told that it's better to have the medicine than it is to have the method. They didn't show up. So I was already doing okay in my barbershop, in this business that actually helped to retire me within 2 years. Retired my wife after the first year, retired me at 29, allowed me to do what I feel like God has purposed us to do, and that's travel the country, doing what we're doing right now, and that's helping to liberate people mentally. Did you know there's only one difference between a person who is in jail mentally and a person who is in jail physically?
Location.
The one difference is the person who's in jail physically at least knows they're in jail.
Yep. That's right.
Right.
So we're trying to help free people from their mental jail, and sometimes they don't even show up for the appointment. And how do you deal with that as a business owner? Well, for me, when I get back in the truck, I'm looking at how much gas I've spent, how much time, how many miles I put on this truck. And if you look at your current circumstances when you're dealing with a current situation and you don't have a long-term why, it's easy to give up in the process. See, the only reason why we know a Joseph biblically is because he went from the pit to the palace. Everybody with me? He went from a pit to the palace, but he had to go through the process like I've watched this man in the room go through. You hear me? But in the process, there's a lot of pain points. So what I did was I took my picture of my kids and I put it over the odometer, over the gas readout, so that I would be able to focus on my reason why as opposed to focusing on the circumstances that I was experiencing at that time. And if it was just that person, just that experience, just that day, I would have given up a long time ago, and I wouldn't be standing right here giving you what God has given me through the wisdom that I've experienced as a business owner. But I'm trying to help you because you're going to have some of these experiences as well. So what do you want to be, right? That's my godson there. As you can see, at Jake Motivates is where you can follow him. These are some of the people we've been able to touch. As you can see, Mr. Washington there, we got young professionals. My sister and I, we built a family business, a legacy. One of our biggest accounts is WDRB here in Louisville. And again, I don't say these things to impress you. I just say them to impress upon you. What do you want to do? This is how you develop your why, right? Me and my wife love to have experiences where we're not just enjoying the beaches of the world together. Number one, she doesn't like water and she doesn't like heights, but she don't like me doing stuff by myself either. You know what I'm saying? So we got a picture when we finally got down close to the water where she could actually smile again after parasailing. But this is something, you know, us with some of our teams and some dream experiences, and what I want you to write down right now, right, is that you got to have vision.
Amen.
I got 6 minutes. Dougie Fresh, you're on. Okay, I got 6 minutes. I'm going to be on time with mine. So you got to have a vision. See, your why leads to what your vision is. And many people have a reason why, but they haven't developed the vision. And the vision is not for you. As a leader, in order for any initiative, whatever it is, even DJing. See, DJs, they have a vision for how they want that event to go even before they walk in. He already knows how he wants the room set up. He knows where he wants the people to be dancing at versus sitting. He already knows the playlist because there's a mood that he wants to create. He has a vision for the experience. Now the people walking in, they don't know the vision. They just know they want to have a good time.
Amen. Hallelujah.
And the DJ's job is to cast the vision. See, they did an interview with Helen Keller. They said, you're blind. You've done all these amazing things. How have you been able to do it? She said, I'd much rather be blind and have no sight than to have sight with no vision. See, it takes vision to move the masses. Everybody with me? So whatever your vision is for your business, you got to crystallize it. And for me, it was about making sure that other people could experience the luxuries of life, even if they never came from them. See, I realized that where you grew up doesn't have to be where you end up.
All right.
I grew up in the west part of Louisville. I didn't have many people telling me that I could become an executive, that I could become a CEO, that I could become a leader of leaders, that I could travel internationally and have people, you know, paying for airfare for me to come and touch the people that they've got in their arenas to help them to understand and better develop their own reason whys in the businesses that they want to create. Now, I know I started off talking about how to build and to lead large organizations. The first person you have to lead when you're doing that is you.
Yes.
And when you learn to do that, then you can lead your number one institution, which is your family, which is a challenge all in itself. And then anything else out after that, it becomes a byproduct. Everybody with me? All right, good. So we've been blessed to make enough mistakes to be able to let you know that you can have everything you want in life as long as you're willing to help enough people, other people, get what they want in life. I also want to highlight a gentleman, his picture got cut off there, but Mr. PJ Mbanasor, who's a part of our organization, just recently joined about 8 months ago, and he's 27 years of age. He played cornerback for the University of Louisville here a few years ago. Anybody a U of L fan in the room? Hell yes? Okay, all right, good. I got a couple family members in here. So that's where I graduated from. But at 27, I started my journey, right? And this gentleman started his journey at 27, 8 months ago. And I've watched him bring his talents to this organization. He's got 2 weddings that he's looking to, this fiance, and her name is Celine. So they got 2 weddings, a traditional wedding because he's actually from another country. And she's here. So they're doing 2 weddings at 27. So he had a strong reason why to build in business. He gave me his reason why, gave Mr. Washington his reason why, and collectively, we were able to put him in a position where he could learn these leadership principles. And what it took some people 20 years to accomplish because of the associations. Jot this down. The associations in your life are either lifting you up or they're pulling you down. There is no in between. And if you look around at the people who are around you and you don't get inspired, you don't have a circle, you have a cage.
Amen.
So I'm sure you've heard the expression, if you can't change the people around you, what you got to do? Change the people around you. And some of us can't get to where we're putting other people in positions where they can pay for 2 weddings because we're holding on to the people who are holding us back.
Wow.
There are some blessings on the other side of that exit door. And some of us right now got people that are locked into us that were a part of this part of your destiny. But to get to the next dispensation, walking through the door, you're going to have to let some of those people go in order to be able to get to where you're supposed to be.
Excellent analogy. Yeah. Yeah.
I know you love them. I know you promised that y'all was going to do it all together. But the reality is if they don't align with the vision, then they can't go, right? We know that the children of Israel had to wander in the wilderness. For how long?
40 years.
About 40 years. That's a long time. That's longer than what I've got between now and when my dad passed away. So we don't have time to wait on people to get it together. You understand what I'm saying? That doesn't mean not to develop people, because it's important to develop them. That's what our job is. But of course, having an understanding, write it down, right? Write the vision and make it plain. That's how you can run to your goals. All of these are biblical principles. I brought a couple books here because many of you are leaders and you want to become better leaders. Most people tell you that leaders are born. I'm going to be honest with you. That's not actually accurate. Some leaders show more natural capability because of the natural environment that they grew up in. They were encouraged to make quality decisions for themselves when they were 1 and 2. So by the time they were 5, they was like, yeah, this is what I want. This is what I want from the menu. But if you had to grow up begging like I did, you weren't necessarily as confident when it came time to make decisions. So even though I had leadership in me, it wasn't developed nearly as early as some other people just because my circumstances were different.
Come on.
But leaders are developed. It's a skill that you can learn just like any other skill, right? Barbering was a skill. I picked it up at 13. It kept me off the streets because everybody around me, my current associations, were doing pharmaceutical sales. They ain't have a license. You understand what I'm saying? But everybody with me? Street pharmacists. But I couldn't see, I couldn't hear, right? So I wasn't trying to stand out on the corner back then because people were getting robbed. And I already knew that that was probably what I was going to experience, but people were doing what they needed to do, they thought, to get to where they needed to go. And they had everything, the cars, the prestige, they had. So me, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And because I had an issue in my household, right? I had a stepfather who was one of the most brilliant men I ever met in my life, but he also suffered from a recurring drug addiction, drug and alcohol addiction. And I'm sure you can imagine, Jaden, waking up in the morning, right, and your stuff missing. The only valuable stuff that you got, maybe your video game console, or one time it was my first car that I purchased. Wow. And it wasn't there, right? I ended up finding it on 4 bricks, having been completely dismantled. The same person who was supposed to have been protecting our household was an insidious force on the inside of it, right? And because my mom loved him, we honored him for who he was in our household. It was like for a long time in life we had to do that. But he was one of the best barbers in the city. And he would have us fresh. Designs, y'all remember like when the designs first came out, right? Like, I mean, I'm going to school, you are the man when you got those type of haircuts. But when he would disappear for months at a time, now you go from being the man to being miserable because everybody got jokes for you. Like, you was clean last week, what happened? So guess what? Out of that pain, I picked up the clippers. Like, man, I'm gonna have to get this thing together because I can't keep. So I learned the skill of barbering. But what I've learned is, right, that just like the barbering skill came into my life, so did the leadership skills. And see, when I got a hold of John C. Maxwell's 21 indispensable qualities of a leader, changed the game for me. I had a mentor who invested in me a John C. Maxwell leadership Bible because I had conflict. I was like, man, I'm telling everybody about this business I'm running, but I'm really supposed to be telling them about Jesus. I'm really supposed to be telling them about my faith, right? And much respect to any faith that is in here. I truly believe an evolved version of what we all believed is what is actually the truth. Everybody with me? We got more commonality amongst different religions than we have division. We just are taught to focus on the division so that religious cultures don't work together, because I've seen cultures of people who put their differences to the side and they still make an impact on the community that they've all been assigned to.
Yeah.
So I had conflict. Anybody ever had conflict? It's like I'm doing more for my business than I am doing for my mission. But my mentor was wise enough to invest to show me where my business and my ministry actually went hand in hand. When he gave me he showed me the principles of John C. Maxwell extrapolated in the word that I was studying on a regular basis. So many of you want to get to the top levels of leadership, and I'm going to wrap up. But how do you get there? There's some stuff designed for you when you become a leader on the top shelf of life. But how are you ever supposed to get to it? Well, you're going to stand on the books that you read and the audios that you listen to. You with me? More information is out there than ever that we can glean from. How you decipher between the things that are important is where your ministry comes in, because it's something called discernment. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there. And just because there's a smorgasbord doesn't mean that you're supposed to eat everything that's on there. You're going to hear about some of that today. There's a whole lot of food out there. But have you ever wondered why there is a healthy food section in the grocery store? Like, what's the rest of the food then? Everybody with me? What's the rest of the food if this is the section of healthy food? So you got to study. Because again, in order to become the type of leader that other people will want to follow, that's what the 21 indispensable qualities of a leader is all about. It's about charisma and communication and character. Everybody with me? So you can develop into the type of leader that you want to become with your strong reason why. This is the picture I was holding up. That's that guy that was learning how to cut hair. That's my first barbershop in my bedroom, right there in Newburgh, right here in Louisville. And this is where I developed the skills that actually led me to becoming a barber that attracted the attention of someone else. And here's one of the last things I want to share is that when it comes to who we are, right? The next place that you're supposed to go in life is going to come based on what you're exuding right now. See, some of you have opportunities that are awaiting you once you turn that next. You're going to learn something this weekend that is the third combination number on the lock of your brain that is going to help you to become the type of person that when a Fortune 500 company is looking for someone, your name's at the top of the list. Your business now has risen to the top of the list, even if it's 50th on the list, but because you're shining so bright with your cookie business, people say, if I'm gonna get cookies, you know what? I'm going to desire, how do you pronounce it?
Desire.
Desire is what it is. I'm going to see Desire. But you have to become the attraction in order for that to happen with you and for you as you're developing into a leader. Let me wrap up. Every one of us knows that there are industries out here, right, that make billions of dollars every single year. And what you need to identify is where does the industry that you're in rank amongst the top industries. And no matter what, in order for us to grow any business, we've got to bring other people into our business in order for it to grow. Oftentimes, we were told in my business that recruiting was a bad thing. Let me change the language for you. It's staffing your company. It's staffing your church. Like, you can't grow any organization without the asset of people. People are your greatest asset. A well-trained, business partner, a well-trained associate is your best asset. But you can't get them if you don't understand recruiting.
Right.
Right? The NBA draft was happening yesterday. Do you know that before LeBron and them got mangled in the playoffs? I'm a fan. That's okay, Mr. Washington. We all right. Before they got mangled in the playoffs, they were already thinking about recruiting Bronny James. Now, some of y'all may not be happy about that. I'm ecstatic. I saw a black man open the door for his son and give him an opportunity to have a seat at the table. And if you've ever seen nepotism before, it's only a bad word when it's in our culture.
Come on.
Ain't that right?
Come on.
Yes, sir.
Why is it okay for everybody else to open up the doors for their families and to pass on generational wealth and influence and associations? But we look at that and say, man, well, please. We got a son of the city, Mr. Sean East, who actually went to the Lakers as well, right? They were recruiting, he's right here from Louisville. And he's going to be playing number 55. Y'all watch out for him, right?
Yeah.
Me and his father played ball together at Southern High School. So I'm watching how recruiting makes all the difference in the world, because we wouldn't know a Bronny James unless he was on the recruiting trail. Everybody with me? So even in the season you're in, you always got to be recruiting for the next season.
Yeah.
All right, we done my time? Okay, perfect. I'm done.